Let the record show at 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Have the roll call, please.
Sure. Eddie Gokenauer.
Sure.
Linda Barnhart.
Present.
Eric Goff.
Here.
Vicana Norton. Tim Lewis.
Present.
Dan Gant. Nick Deal. And Derek Smith. Planning Commission members, we have one person that is muted that is a Planning Commission member. Can you let us know who you are? I see Eric and Tim. We heard Eric and Tim. So, Vicana, are you there?
Yeah, I didn't mute myself.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now.
We can. Sorry about
Okay.
All right. We have a quorum.
Sorry, I was just called in. I didn't realize. I guess I was muted by the panel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry
there's
about that.
one more button for me. Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum present. We'll have the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Goff,
Second.
second by Mr. Gokenauer to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. The next item on the agenda is opportunity for the public to come forward and speak regarding something that might be on your mind this evening. If it is regarding a project that's on the agenda, we would ask that you wait until that project is addressed. Otherwise, is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding let the record show that there is no public comment for the Sunshine Law? Okay, the next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Goff, second by Ms. Norton to approve the minutes as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We'll begin our public hearings with Arcata Springs.
Laura? You have Arcadia? Go ahead and read Arcadia Springs. She's settled. Arcadia Springs North, Section 1, Phase 1, lots 48 through 57 and 77 through 86. This is a public hearing request for final plat approval. It's file number 2011-343, tied to 2008-177 and 022-19. The developer is Monarch Development Group, surveyors Gordon. It's located in the Arden District, map 12, parcel 29.3. It's on Van Clevesville Road, 2,000 feet east of the intersection of Van Clevesville Road and Needy Road. The final plat proposes the development of 20 single-family lots on approximately 196 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $301,260. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Jason Gerhardt with Gordon.
Thank you. Again, this is a public hearing for Arcadia Springs North, Section 1. Anyone wish to speak regarding the project from the public?
If there's no one, I'll move to close public hearing. Second.
Let the record show that we have no one to speak regarding the public, so I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gokenauer to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. The public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Gerhart or the staff?
There are no questions. I make a motion that we accept staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent upon the receipt of surety in the amount of $301,260,000. And the plats be released upon receipt of.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation, and that is to grant final plat approval contingent upon surety in the amount of $301,260. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda for public hearing is Ripley.
This public hearing is a request for waiver. Project is Ripley, file number 2101-021. The developer's Max Ripley, the engineer's Roberts Land Surveying. It's in the Opequon District, map 8, parcel 8. Located on the west side of Jacobs Road, West Virginia Secondary Route 12/4, at the intersection with Dee Dee Lane, West Virginia Route 5/1. This project proposes a residential subdivision on approximately 3.14 acres to be served by, I need to correct the staff report, it's served by private water and septic. The developer is requesting a waiver to section 305.4.1 of the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance, requiring 2-acre minimum lot size for a preliminary final application. Engineering staff recommends tabling the decision regarding this waiver until the applicant can provide the following supportive information for staff to review and make a final recommendation. 1, show all existing residences, including adjoining properties. 2, show all existing septic and septic reserve areas, including adjoining properties. 3, show all existing wells, including adjoining properties. 4, show all minimum building setback lines as well as the highway reserve. Show both driveway entrances. Planning staff concurs with engineering staff.
Do I have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Mike Roberts represents the project, and Mr. Ripley is here also.
Okay, thank you very much.
If there's nobody else, I move to close the public hearing portion.
I haven't asked for public hearing yet, just a minute. Is there anyone that
Okay,
wishes this, that's okay. Is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding this project from the public? Okay, Mr. Goff, and there appears to be no one to speak.
I move to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Goff, second by Ms. Norton to close the public hearing for Ripley, excuse me. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Do you want to give us a dissertation regarding the engineer's comments?
At this time, no, that's first my referral. I wasn't sure that did not that something was sent out.
It's the staff report that was posted.
That came out on Thursday. I did not read it, so I cannot comment on that.
Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts or of the staff?
Please, President, I did bring in some additional information, which I'm sure staff has already looked at. This is an area on the site which does show the 2 residences that are currently on the property. And there are 2 approved septic systems on the property. There's 1 well and the second well permit has been applied for. Has been approved.
I'm sorry,
Has been approved, yes, yeah, help for the second well on the property. I'll have to let Mr. Ripley speak to what his timeline is. What the staff is requesting is nothing that cannot be turned around by, our next meeting, your next meeting is just additional fielding work. All the information could be collected and presented to the staff and reviewed.
Planning Commission members, are you hearing Mr. Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. He's saying that all the information that the staff is asking for can easily be provided by the next Planning Commission meeting. Mr. Ripley, are you in the audience? Do you want to come forward and speak to us? Want to give us your name for the record?
Max Ripley. There are 2 residences there, 2 septics approved. And there's a second well.
What about what's there now? Isn't there just mobile units there
There's
now?
mobiles there now, but that's too small.
Do you own the property?
Will the mobiles be removed?
Yes.
Mike, with the additional, we're splitting that lot in the middle like that. We've got all the necessary distances from the wells and septics and stuff.
Yes. The final determination of that center boundary line, we actually submitted a preliminary section on it. It would not be the exact same location that you showed there. That was just a graphic to show that we'll split the lot in 2. But it was only relocated line based upon the septic.
Are you asking for highway entrance permits onto Jacobs Road or onto Dee Lane? But you haven't gotten those yet.
You have to have a plat.
Okay.
Also might add that Mr. Griffin purchased this property. It's actually deeded 3 separate tracts. So another alternative would be the potential maybe to do a better line adjustment if the waiver necessary. There are 3 legal parcels by deed, not by tax map. This tax map is one parcel, but in a deed, he was deeded 3 separate parcels.
There was actually 2 separate tax maps.
How long have you owned it? Do you live there now? Planning Commission members, we need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept staff recommendations, engineer recommendations, and table it until those 5 items can be provided to the planning commission.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Goff, to accept engineer's recommendation and to deny approval until 5 items are addressed, hopefully by the next Planning Commission meeting, which is March 15th. Okay?
Would it be a denial or a tabling and then a decision at the next?
I think he said table.
To table,
You just want to table it rather than deny it.
yes, to
Okay.
table it, to give them an opportunity to collect those items.
Okay. All right, I have a motion to table the project until the next Planning Commission meeting, which is March 15th, at which time those 5 items can be addressed, and then consideration be given to the waiver request. Yes, yeah, public hearing is closed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing's closed, and the decision is to deny, or to table, sorry. Next item on the agenda for public hearing is Baker's Crossing Townhome Subdivision.
And I believe Laura.
Hey, it's Laura. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like Linda said, it's a public hearing for request sketch plan. The project Baker's Crossing Townhome Subdivision, file 2009-53. The developer is J. Hess Group LLC and the engineer is Greenway Engineering. It's located in the Arden District Tax Map J, parcels 14 and 19, and is located at the intersection of Charlestown Road and Ceramic Drive. The project proposes 8 townhouse units on 0.87 acres to be served by public water and sewer. It says no waivers or exceptions have been requested, but there was a waiver request denied by the Planning Commission to 9 townhome units. This waiver before they revised the chip back down to 8. For 2021, the engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of proof stating that a review of the above mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Alexis Walburn, Greenlight Engineering.
Thank you. This is a public hearing for Baker's Crossing Townhomes. If you have comments that you want to make regarding this project, now's the opportunity. Please come forward, state your name, and any comments you might have regarding this project.
If there's nobody, I move to close public hearing.
Let the record show that there's no one to speak. Have a motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. Second by Mr. Gokenhour. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the public hearing is now closed for Baker's Crossing. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of the applicant's representative or of the staff? If there are no questions, I'm ready for a motion.
Make the motion that we accept staff recommendations in advance of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
A motion by Mr. Lewis,
Second.
second by Mr. Goff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Sketch plan is advanced to the preliminary plan stage. Thank you. Next item on the agenda for public hearing is Little Falls Youth Athletic League.
Yes, so this is another public hearing for a request for sketch plan. The project is Little Falls Youth Athletic League, file 2012-365. The developer is Jim Presley and the engineer is Frederick Cyber and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, tax map 14, parcel 5, and is located on the north side of Beddington Road and on the east side of Miss Stacy Drive. This project proposes the development of a new public road to serve a residential lot and recreational use on approximately 17.75 acres to be served by public water and sewer. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On February 2nd, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay. It says here that it's just a new public road. What's the deal with public water and sewer?
For the Little League facilities. So
They'll be creating a new road that would serve, it's currently around like a residential lot, but the new road would serve the back of the existing parcel that would go to the athletic fields, and then there would be a residential parcel created by this project.
and there's a concession area at the center of the ball fields.
Okay, but it says here we're having a public hearing on the road to create a new road.
The road will be private homeowners, by that subdivision created. That'll be their responsibility. Now, it is public water and sewer, but the road is not public.
Well, what's the public hearing on? Is it on creating the road, or is it on something else?
Just a sketch.
The whole sketch plan. So it's the road and the fields.
Oh, okay. Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Trevor is.
Yes, this is Frederick, FSA.
Okay. Again, this is a public hearing for Little Falls Youth Athletic League. It's your time to make your comments known. Please come forward, state your name and any questions or comments you might have regarding this project.
If there's nobody, I move to close public hearing.
Let the record show that there's no one to speak regarding the project from the public. I have a motion by Mr. Goff,
Second.
second by Mr. Lewis to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Public hearing is now closed for Little Falls Youth Athletic League. That's a mouthful. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Seibert's representative or of the staff?
My only question is, because my sketch is kind of difficult to see, is there like lighting for like night ball games and that kind of stuff?
Trevor could probably answer that.
They did not propose any lighting at this point. The note that I asked them to add to the sketch plan was basically out of our ordinance, which says you can have lighting on your property for the ball fields, however, in zero cutoff and 0 foot candles of the property. I would assume that during the preliminary plan, if they propose lights at that point, that they would have shown it on the drawing and at least address it.
Yeah, my real concern was,
Yes,
just,
you're correct.
light
I
up the whole
don't think there
neighborhood
was a
there.
plan at this time when they originally came in to speak with us about the facility, that there wasn't a plan at that time when we questioned them about lighting at this point. We certainly, if council feels strongly about it, certainly I can ask to have that note put on the preliminary plan, and if there aren't lights showing, lighting lights in the future, we'll have to come back before council.
Trevor, are you able to answer that?
I can add some context to this discussion too. Frederick here. They currently are not planning on installing the lighting for the project yet. They're trying to get some grant money in to pay for this light. But at the beginning of construction, they do not plan on installing the lights. However, we will proceed with the design for the lights. That way they're permitted to install them when they get the money.
So we may want to, council wants to reserve the right to open up public hearing again from your issue. Ball field, lots of lights, and you have that residential area just adjacent to it.
Planning Commission members, do you have additional comments you want to make? Mr. Gokenhour is questioning lights. And I get your concerns for the lights near the residential area.
Yes.
Planning Commission members, we're waiting for a motion.
Make a recommendation, we accept staff recommendations. The sketch plan does meet the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of sketch plan to preliminary plan stage. I might need a little bit of help here as far as anything to do about that lighting. I mean, should it be addressed later? Should it be addressed now? Just need a little guidance.
As Doug Smith, the county engineer, mentioned, we can request as part of that preliminary plan submission that it includes the lighting and the foot candles that he was referring to make sure that the impact to the neighbors is minimal.
That's what I want.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Gokenhour to accept the staff recommendation and to advance the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage with the condition that when the plan is submitted, it has on there regarding the lighting for the area and the foot candles.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Gokenhour, and it's been seconded by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Trevor, did you hear the motion?
I did, yes.
Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is Spice Connection, and it's a public hearing.
Yes, so this is another public hearing for request for sketch plan. The project is Spice Connection Restaurant, filed 2012-376. The developer is Bhupesh Rawat, and the engineer is Alpha and Associates. It's located in the Apechan District, tax map 9.1, and is located on the east side of Mid-Atlantic Parkway, approximately 100 feet from the intersection of Warm Springs Avenue. This project proposes to convert an existing residential structure to a commercial restaurant on approximately 0.624 acres to be served by public sewer. At the February 1st, 2021 Planning Commission meeting, Planning Commission granted applicant favors to section 503B to allow the kitchen to encroach into the 25-foot rear building setback and buffer, a waiver to section 802 to allow an existing building to encroach into the 50-foot setback, front setback, and to section 801.1B to allow parking to extend into the 8-foot parking setback for the front and side parking areas, and a waiver to section 801.1.2 to allow for an aisle width of 18 feet for the front parking area. On January 11th, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Rick Klein, House Associates, who represent the project.
Thank you. This is a public hearing for sketch plat advancement. Is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding the project? If you do, come forward, state your name, your address, and any questions you might have regarding the project.
If there's no one, I move to close public hearing.
There are two numbers on Zoom that appear to be unmuted. I just want to make sure that if there's anyone that's logged into Zoom that wants to speak now, go ahead and speak.
Okay, it appears that there's no one that wishes to speak from the public regarding Spice Connection. I have a motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. Did I get a second by Mr. Lewis? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Klein or the staff?
I move advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Norton, second by Mr. Goff to move the project from the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. All right, the next item on our public hearing is Panhandle Printing and Design.
Yes, so the last public hearing is also a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Panhandle Printing and Design, file 2011-306. The developer is Panhandle Printing and Design, and the engineering. It's located in the Apechan District, tax map C, parcel 40, 41, and 41.1. Property is located approximately a tenth of a mile northwest of the intersection of Warm Springs Avenue and Williamsport Pike. This project proposes the redevelopment of approximately 0.52 acres for the purpose of relocating Panhandle Printing and Design to be served by public water and sewer. On January 4th, 2021, the applicant granted 3 waivers, reducing the requirements of Section 801, Table 8-1B, 16B, off-street parking, a waiver to Section 801.2, Table 8-4, for off-street loading spaces, and a waiver to Section 802BIA, Table 8.5, for the alternative C 25-foot commercial to residential buffer. On February 10th, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned projects was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay, this is we have a representative, please.
Yes, ma'am. Jamie McLean, Freeway Engineering.
Okay. Again, this is a public hearing for Panhandle Printing and Design. If you have questions or comments, please come forward, make your comments known.
There's no one. I
No.
move to close public hearing.
I'm sorry, I have someone coming forward, Mr. Call.
Okay.
It's hard to see, isn't
Okay,
it?
good. Definitely.
Yeah, I've got concern with the.
Give us your name and address, please.
Charles Bernardus, and I have lived on Warm Springs Avenue. And I've got a concern with the stormwater runoff on some of these lots. Not only 2 blocks behind where this construction is going to take place. And I'm concerned with the sewer and the water runoff.
Okay.
And I've had quite a bit of before, and it's going to change a lot, but I'd like to know what's going on.
Okay. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak for public comment before we get those questions answered?
Hello, my name is Michael Baker.
Hello.
I'm not here to speak on this project. I just have a question on the procedure that you all have now. Do I understand it right? Because a long time ago they had different. We have a public hearing now at a sketch plan, correct? And then is there a public hearing at the preliminary plat stage?
No.
And then
Final
a
plat.
final plat.
2 public hearings. Sketch
Why don't
plan.
we have a public hearing at the preliminary plat, because that's when all the meat and potatoes comes out on the project. Because on a previous project, we just talked about lighting, and it's not in the concept plan. You know, you hear about it after the public hearing's closed. So my question is, why do we change? I mean, it used to be, if I can remember correct, public hearing was always held at the preliminary plat stage, which is where all of the details of the project is at.
Yeah. I'll try to answer that question for you. You're correct. The public hearing used to be held at the preliminary plan stage. Our legal counsel tells us that we have to have 2 public hearings. By holding it at the preliminary plan stage, a lot of the detailed information and expenses are put forth. If there are significant changes that need to be made, it was thought by the revision of the subdivision regulations that that wasn't a good time to have public comment when all the money has been spent to design the project. So it was moved to the sketch plan, and then the code says we have to have one at final plat. So that's your 2 public hearings.
So what you're telling me is that if I want to speak the next time, I can have to do it under sunshine law. At
No.
the preliminary plat stage, I can speak.
Yes, you can.
Okay, and then at the final, it's pretty much approved and just, there's still a public hearing, but it's reviewed,
Well,
sort of.
I don't know. Have we ever had changes in it at the final plat stage?
It doesn't meet the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, then at the final plat stage, then it wouldn't be approved, and then the lighting that you I would say that is required by the design standard. So staff did a really great job of getting that far unless all the appropriate permits have been obtained. They don't get to that point.
I like the public hearing as opposed to the preliminary plat, because, and I understand the part about money, but public's comments, I like it at that stage.
Personally, I think I tend to agree with you, but I'm maybe one person.
If you could put your name and contact information on the public hearing sheet?
The sunshine,
No, the other one that says public, there's 2
there's only
sheets.
one sunshine law.
Oh, okay.
The other one's going.
Go ahead. Somebody might have taken it with their stack, so go ahead and
Alright.
just put your name on that same sheet and just say that you spoke during a public hearing. And then as we evaluate the ordinance, we can reach out to you as well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Ms. McLean, do you want to respond to the questions regarding the stormwater and the runoff?
Mr. Burnett. I just wanted to respond to the stormwater concern that Mr. Burdettis had voiced. There is a lot of flow over on Warm Springs Avenue when it rains. With this, at the sketch plan stage of the process, we need to go in and have a stormwater conceptual meeting with Mr. We are required to provide stormwater quality and quantity for this site. Also, when we get the permit from the Department of Highways, they require that our pre-construction and our post-construction, that we're not putting any more water out into that right of way than was before. So it certainly won't make it worse. It should make it better because there is some, I'll show you that. I can show you after this where we're putting the stormwater detention facilities. Answer any questions.
Mr. Smith, do you have something you want to add to it?
Yes, ma'am. After review of the project, because of the stormwater quality and this floor guidance, first 1 inch of rainfall off of that property is actually being captured, detained, and kept on site. So there should be less stormwater than whatever existed there before. Actually, the project is a benefit for the drainage in the area.
Mr. Burdettis, do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak regarding public hearing on Panhandle printing and design? with no
If
additional,
there is nobody, I move to close public hearing.
you're correct. There's no one else that wishes to speak. So I have a motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. Did I hear you say? And second by Mr. Gokenhour. Close public hearing for Panhandle Printing and Design. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed.
Thank you.
Okay, planning commission members, do you have questions regarding the project of Ms. McLean or of the staff?
There are no questions. I'll make a motion to advance the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Goff, to advance the Panhandle Printing and Design from sketch plan to preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Nice evening.
The next item on the agenda is preliminary, request for preliminary plan advancement for Baker Heights Fire Station.
Yes. So the next is a request for preliminary plan advancement. The project is Baker Heights Fire Station, file 2101-012. The developer is Berkeley County Fire Station Board and engineers the Thrasher Group, located in the Arden District, tax map 5, parcel 71, and is located on New York Avenue, approximately 800 feet south of Apple Harvest Drive. This project proposes the development of an approximately 18,000 square foot fire station with rentable community space, parking lot, and new stormwater management facility to be served by public water and sewage. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On February 17th, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the Subdivision Ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan.
Do you have anyone to represent the project?
Rob Milne with the Thrasher Group, here to answer any questions you have.
Planning commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Milton or of the staff?
Another question I have is, it's my understanding that the stormwater management is being, or has been constructed on another parcel, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. The previous project that was constructed, that particular parcel for the fire station was designed, the existing stormwater management facility was designed to handle the impervious areas of the fire station.
And that has been approved by the city?
Yes,
to
sir.
accept that? Yes, very good, thank you.
Any additional comments, planning commission members?
Make motion public hearing be closed.
It's not a public hearing.
Who wants to?
I can take a motion to approve it.
Whoops. Sure.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Gokenhour to accept staff recommendation and advance the preliminary plan stage.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Good luck. Next item on the agenda is Dollar General and Enwood.
Yes, so this is another request for preliminary plan advancement. The project is Dollar General Inwood, file 2007-023, tied to file 057-19. The developer is Cross Development LLC and the engineer is Tectonics Design Group. located in the Arden District, tax map 18, parcel 34. It is located on the east side of Winchester Avenue, approximately 200 feet northeast of the existing 7-Eleven between Maidenbush Lane and Corning Way. This project proposes a 9,100 square foot Dollar General commercial building to be served by public water and sewer. At the April 20th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted an exception to Section 705 to not install sidewalks along Winchester Avenue, contingent on providing a 5-foot pedestrian easement in the event that a sidewalk is required and/or installed in the future. On February 17th, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the Subdivision Ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Yeah, this is Luke Warner with Cross Development. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. I'm just writing your name.
Great.
I thought tectonics was a cappella group.
Might be.
Huh?
That's pentatonics.
Huh?
That's pentatonics.
Oh, tectonics. Heard them one time. Pretty good. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Warner of the staff?
There are no questions. I make the motion for advancement of the preliminary plan.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to advance the preliminary plan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Planning Commission, do you have questions or comments from council? Nothing from you?
Nothing, I'll just say that we are meeting weekly to go over the subdivision ordinance rewrite. We have engineers and legal staff and planning staff trucking right along.
Very good.
Is it your plan to bring it out once it's completed, or are you gonna bring it out in pieces, or?
I don't think we'll give you the entire document all at once. We will give you,
Okay.
yes, as soon as we have portions that we feel are ready for review. We'll share.
Well, I think Laura wrote something on street standards some time ago.
Sidewalks.
Something.
To all that. So it's just a matter of all of us sitting in a room together to make sure that we are still in agreement with everything that was written and anything that needs to be added. And we're shortening it to taking Jeff is really helping us take out extra words that don't carry any weight, not necessarily need to be there.
Who's doing that?
Jeff. Who? Jeff Malsey, our
Oh,
deputy.
your sister.
Sorry, I'm pointing at
I thought maybe there's somebody.
Trying to cut that thing down, it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Carry it around.
Mr. Smith, you have something?
Yes, we're also at the same time this is going on, looking at the 2016 stormwater ordinance. We have some things that between us and MS4 that we're working on, that will bring some changes with that will tie in with the changes that are coming from the subdivision ordinance. The two have tended to conflict sometimes at some points, and we're trying to undo that and also just close the field. Loopholes, if you will, for lack of better words.
Well, that's really a good idea because, you know,
They
some of
both need to marry each other. They
Right.
must.
the stormwater ordinance has been revised and there's been another revision here and there. And now you don't have this, you have this. And that's.
And quite frankly, what ends up happening, it sounds simplistic, but it does create an issue.
Sure does.
Whereas the subdivision, and not that anyone's wrong, this is not anything big like that, it's just an example, but in the subdivision ordinance, it may address a lot of things residential at times, and the stormwater ordinance kind of would look at the same thing, but addresses it in the form of a commercial development site. You see my, quandary, in other words, sometimes, and it flips back and forth. We can have that. So when Zach and I looked at it, there are some newer regulations coming from EPA for MS4, and because of the Chesapeake Bay watershed that we need to look at. And just a couple other things, just some things that may not have been done all the way in the ordinance and just need to be finished. So, and we would certainly try to bring those in. I would not bring that whole document in here without that.
Well, it's good that we have continuity, and that's very important, because you can't enforce a document that doesn't have continuity. It's just, it's a recipe for a big headache. So, okay, if there's nothing else, I'm ready for a
Move
motion.
to adjourn.
There we go. Loud and clear. Motion with Mr. Goff to adjourn at 6:50. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gokenhour. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's